Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Warbird Frank. Welcome to another episode of War Thunder. Alright, so today's star is a step up from the Lorraine 40T, and that is the AMX-50 surbaisse, or a lot of the community likes to call it the super bias. Alright, so today's heavyweight champion, the AMX-50, is going to be the talk of the video today. So basically I'm moving up from the Lorraine 40T to the super bias. Alright, so let's break it down, guys. This is the tier 5 heavy tank for the French. Now this right here is a mixed bag of beans, and I will tell you right, it's one of my favorite tanks for the cool factor. I don't know, it's just something about the oscillating turret that just sexy to me particularly. But that's we're not here to talk about its sexiness. We're here to talk about its functionality, what it's good at, what its downs and ups are, and we're just gonna go make it real quick because, you know, I don't know. I'm gonna experiment to see if you guys like the talking about the tank or if you like the gameplay, a little bit of both. But anyway, I digress. Okay, disclaimer before I make this video. These are simply how I play the tanks, aircraft, or ships. I am not good at the game. I do not condone, that I am better. I'm not here to say that I'm a good War Thunder player. You can learn off of this and take these tactics and apply them to you. However, I am not responsible if you get killed and by using my tactics, because these are strictly my own tactics. With that out of the way, let's get to the tank. Alright guys, so the AMX-50 is a overall good tank. Not the greatest, but it is a good tank. Now, what are the pros and cons of this vehicle? Well, the pros are it has a big gun and it has sloped armor, and its mobility is actually a little bit decent to go ahead and get into locations fast and efficiently. Alright, so another perk that this thing has is it's an autoloader. Alright, so in this particular area you have a 16 round magazine. Alright, and your ammo storage will be replenished as you guys know, if you're not moving or if you're not firing. Alright guys, so what are the downsides of this vehicle? Well, at 8.0 you're going to see Bradleys which have ATGMs and their 23mm cannons that could actually penetrate your turret area from even at distance, even with that 90mm of armor. The upper hull armor is thin, but it's extremely angled, but that doesn't really matter compared to what it fights like ATGMs and stuff like that. The lower plate is actually thicker than the upper plate, which can give you an advantage, but this is a tank that you want to play as a support role, or Viva camping if you can go ahead and do that. Alright, so what are the statistics of the vehicle? Well, it has 8 degrees of gun depression, which is fairly decent for hold down positions. It also has 14 degrees of vertical elevation. That can either get you killed or it can, save you depending on what you do. That's up to you. Alright, so what's its hull armor? 60, 30, 30, turret 90, which is pretty good for hold down positions, but again, you're going to be facing stuff that's firing Heat FS, ATGMs, and have Sabo. So Sabo might bounce, but a majority of the time Heat FS is going to go straight through that. Alright, it's a 57-ton vehicle. It has a 850 horsepower engine at 32 miles per hour. Now keep this in mind that you're only going to gain that top speed on road. Terrain and whatnot is going to vary. Alright guys, now that we got down the statistics, how would I play it? How would I go ahead and apply that to War Thunder, and how can you be effective in it? Well, me in particular, remember, this is how I play, and you could just go based off of my own experiences and try it for yourself. Alright, so the rundown is, well, it's a support tank. You can be aggressive if you wish, but you risk going in and killing yourself fairly easy. I mean, it does have the mobility to get into places before other heavies or even mediums, for that matter. I've actually done it. And I don't really play aggressive in this tank. I play it as a support role. So I'll follow some of the tanks that are a little bit faster than me, and I'll sit back. Or if I'm down tiered, I will be aggressive in it and go into a location where I know I can dominate. It is fairly decent hold down. I mean, the gun breach is, you're just going to bounce off of that. Look at that effective thickness, 100. They hit right here, the flat areas, they're going to go straight through that. But if they hit near your gun mantlet, it's just an auto ricochet. But the best way to go ahead and play this tank is a support role, and to go ahead and you could be aggressive, but don't do it so often. The penetration of the, let me see, sorry about that. It only gets 2 rounds, high explosive and armor piercing. Armor piercing's pretty decent, but keep in mind that these rounds in particular like to bounce, so don't rely too much on the shelf. But it has good spalling damage. All right, so I just want to make this clear. In this following gameplay, I do a bit of camping and play a little bit of a support role, so forgive me for the gameplay, but it is fairly difficult to do good in this vehicle with its battle rating. I'm not saying it's impossible to do good, but it is a bit of a, so like I said, it is a support tank. You play it as needed to be, so I forgive me for the camping. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and skip over to the video right now. Alright guys, here we are in Poland. I wanted to go a little bit more in depth what I meant about the surbaisse or the AMX-50 being on the support role. Well, I wanted to go ahead and say, look, just because of where it's at doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be specifically a support role. Like I said, I myself have played this quite a bit, couple games, and so as far as I know what it's in its current state, to me, I play it as a support role. Now you can choose to play it however you wish. Take this with a pinch of salt. That depending on the map, on your battle rating and what you get in a matchup, it all varies and depends on those factors. It also depends on where your team is located. Where are you going to be located? How you're going to think things. Now, I want to make that clear that this tank is by no means is a bad tank. There are bad tanks, but even bad tanks can be useful in certain situations. Now with that out of the way, I wanted to go a little bit more in depth about the surbaisse mobility. Now, I did say that its mobility is decent when it is down tiered, or you are that heavy tank. And the surbaisse has that mobility, as you can see right here. It's really decent. It even challenges the T10's mobility almost, but it challenges it. Now, to say that this vehicle is a good tank it will be debated. It is an absolute unit of a tank. So I wanted to go ahead and make this clear because a lot of people tend to dislike opinions, and opinions are just people's way of thinking, and I believe that this tank can be best played and to its full potential in its current state. With the tanks it goes up against is as a support role. Now that's not to say you don't have to use it that way, but this is how I play it. You can learn from it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put some of my thoughts on this tank a little bit on hold. Right now you're gonna see me go into a place where, okay, I'm in a position to where I'm here. I'm a heavy tank. I can go ahead and destroy these tanks. So you're gonna see off to the right in RU. Unfortunately, I missed a shot, an opportunity, but I'm going to get that opportunity back with a TAM, the German light tank. Alright, he doesn't look around, and boom, one shot. Now, the spalling damage, as you can see right there in the top right-hand corner, It is fantastic. The 120 millimeter solid shot, when it penetrates, it does a massive amount of damage. And another downside about this vehicle right here, as you can see, is its maneuverability. It is not the best, and it is just a slug of a tank. Back to my thoughts on the tank's, role and what it can and cannot do. Now, it can't be aggressive in this type of matchup that I'm in, because I have tanks that are far superior with their sniping, far superior with their mobility, and I'm at par with them at my armor. Now I'm in a position in this game where I can go hold down. I could camp the base, and a lot of you are going to disagree. And I even disagree with this as well. With what I'm doing, I start camping, but in this situation I'm in a massive cap zone where I just need to stay put in order to go ahead and justify what I'm doing, because in the end we end up, spoiler alert, we end up winning the game because I managed to hold down and camp. And this is frowned upon, honestly, and quite frankly I didn't want to do this, but I had no choice, because I needed to go ahead and keep this cap zone well protected. So I decided to park myself in a little corner right here. I obviously know there's a hole behind me, but you're going to see me hit another tap. He's going to be coming up to the left. Now, when you're in a map like this and you see, you're on your side of the map, you don't expect a surbaisse with a big gun pointing at you. So he's going to be coming up right now. Like I said, camping in this game, I don't condone, but here we go, and boom. Now that's another thing that can get this tank killed, is the spalling damage can work with you and it can work against you. And obviously I hit him in the turret. Frank, hey look, if you hit him in the turret, you didn't do a lot of damage. Okay, fair enough. And I was point blank range. Fair enough. I overpenned, in other words. But I want to go back to camping. Like in this situation, my camping actually paid off. And I want to make it clear that what I'm doing is frowned upon, and I'm actually disappointed in myself as well for doing so, but I had no choice. I'm a heavy tank. I got tanks in here that can pen me easily, even with with the BIMP 2s with their 30 millimeter cannons. I got Type 87s that can pen me with their 35 millimeter cannons, I believe, and their ATGMs. I'm in a situation where I have better that I'm best played as what I can do. And sometimes this tank this is actually one of the better matchmakers, believe it or not. And it just comes down to the situation you're in. I know that I'm like bottom tier, and I know that I can do better if I hold down a position where I can be helpful to the team. Now obviously right here I'm being helpful to the team, but sorry about that, about the Discord, and I'm about to have like a error. But keep in mind, my opinion doesn't really matter to you guys, and I understand that. And I don't know, it's just in this situation I felt like I had no choice but to camp and try to hold the cap as long as possible. And I don't know, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Now, okay, so I know I'm actually spotted because the RD indication. Now, there's going to be a sedan, or one of the Italian AA vehicles that's going to keep popping up to the right. So I decided to move up and see if I can go ahead and avoid the AA and do least amount of indication that I'm here. Obviously I get hit, they know I'm here. They got hit markers. So in this particular situation, I park myself in a area where I can watch both sides but still maintain a little bit of protection. And right here is where the little guy's going to be popping up. And bam. So I do an overpan. The spawning doesn't do much, so I decided to go ahead and use that autoloader and shoot him in places where I didn't hit. That's a deadly little vehicle, by the way. If you guys run into those, be aware that they have sable shells, and they're more than capable of taking out even the heaviest of targets if they hit the turret ring. But I wanted to go a little bit more, talk about a little bit more about the tank's armor-piercing shells. The armor-piercing shells are great, but they're not the best. Now let me explain. The shells can work against you and work with you. As you can see, the closer you are, the less spalling damage, and the further you are, the more spalling damage it does because of the the way it's set up. And this thing does do a lot of overpenning, and that right there can get you killed. But this tank's just overall, it's a good tank. It's how you play it, what kind of matchup you're up against, what your situation is. Now, as War Thunder players, I'm not going to tell anyone what to do. I'm not going to say you should use this. I'm not going to, condole it. It's just a lot of people are different and they like their play styles. Now, whether you wish to learn from this is completely up to you. But I'll get back to that, or let that subject sit in the back burner right now. So right now, I know I'm spotted. So on my right, I'm going to be approached by a Italian wheeled vehicle. He's going to be coming off to my right soon up ahead. Now, I actually wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit more about situational awareness. Now, you're going to see a yeah, here it is. The Italian vehicle, he doesn't see me, but then again, you're not expecting a big, heavy tank to be shooting at you. Situational awareness can really be surprising and can help you and whatnot. So, for example, right here, my situational awareness, I'm not looking at that, and I failed to predict that there could be something over here. So I get approached by a Type 87. Now, this guy actually gets me an after death. He actually gets me killed because I try to move forward, and you're going to see a T-55 AM, I believe. Yeah, takes out my gun breach. I try to move forward to get it out of the way, but unfortunately, this is where I die. And this is my downfall. My situational awareness was crap, and I honestly could have done better in this situation, but I didn't. And honestly, when it's my own fault for being so greedy and whatnot, and it's just a matter of perspective, really. Now, I'm sorry about my commentary. I go off topic and whatnot. It's just how I am, and I respect your guys' opinions, and I hope you respect mine. Let me go ahead and hear what you guys have to say about the surbaisse and the French tree. Now that we're with the aviation tech, aviation part of the video, I just wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit more about the French tech tree. Obviously, it's not that fun to play when you have to go through literally guns that have barely, if not do not have the penetration to go up against tanks even at their tier. And that's pretty bad, and I should know, because I had to grind through the tech tree like, you guys have no, well, a majority of you do. If you do know what the tech tree's like, leave a comment down below and tell me what your experiences was. If you guys had a good time with the tier 1s, if you leave a comment down below. Alright, so I wanted to get right here, this little armored car right here. My rocket aim is bad, man. Like, it's bad. But yeah, the French tree isn't horrible once you get past the reserve tiers. I've heard a lot of, I've heard and experienced a lot of grief about the tech tree, especially at tier 1. See, once you get past the tier 1, you end up getting into like the B1 and whatnot, the S35, which are bad tier 2 tanks. It's just, keep in mind that the French tree is very limited, especially when you get up to tier 2 with the M10 and the Shermans. Nice little bombing run there. Got to make sure he's dead. But I don't know. What do you guys think about the French tree? I personally liked it after reaching a certain tier, but tier 1 was just no. I had a rough time going through the tier 1 tech tree. But yeah. Alright, so during this whole gameplay, I wanted to go ahead and make it clear, you know, even though I had done a lot of camping in the situation, it was actually necessary because in the end, they decapped C, but because I was able to hold it down in a position to where we can go ahead and win the battle just by camp points, it ended up paying off. Now, I'm not saying I condone that. I'm not saying you guys should do that, because in all reality, it is one of the worst moves you can pull, camping, and it's not, you know, in any game for that matter. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the gameplay, what you guys think about the video. Give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down if you didn't like it. You know, let me know what you guys want to see. And overall, the surbaisse is just, it's a good tank, but it's a good tank in certain situations. Alright guys, so with that being said, I was thinking about, you know, maybe going into the American tech tree, seeing what, you know, trying a couple bad tanks, and ooh, that guy got blown up. Ooh, look at that, body parts and everywhere. Alright guys, listen, I hope you liked the video, I hope you liked the gameplay, I hope, you know, you can forgive me for the camping, but yeah. Well listen, I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe to become a Warbird today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of War Thunder. Peace.